finalize the staging for the following passenger. Zelda Keller, please come talk to an Edelweiss representative at gate E3.
So welcome back. We're in Las Vegas before the flight back to Zurich. It's 100 degrees outside air temperature. It heats from above the sun and from below the concrete. We're going now around the aircraft for an outside check by the crew. Of course, at every outside station we have a contract with a maintenance provider. The mechanic with a license for the aircraft does the technical check. What we do is called in a slang kick the tire check. Just make sure the aircraft is in a airworthy, good condition. So we go around and I show you the different points, what I look at and what is important to be intact. Are we ready? The first position is mainly for the sensors. You see different sensors at the lower part of the fuselage. The most important are the pitot tubes. That's dynamic pressure measurements. On the side later on we will see the static sensors, static air sensor, and we have the angle of attack sensors, which are important for the flight. You see in the lower part of the Edelweiss, the beautiful flower which is our symbol. You see the two of the angle of attack sensors. Above here, that's one of the three pitot tubes. Two more are to come. Furthermore, on the lower part of the fuselage, we have temperature sensors and ice sensors, which are heated. Then we go to the nose wheel. General condition of the tires. The wheel, make sure it's pumped up, so you see, if it would not be pumped up, then it will go down to here, and then the wheel would be very hard. So it has to be pumped up. The cylinders here are for the nose wheel steering. Careful. On the ground, the cable. Yep. Here we have the plugged in outside electricity. On the background, what makes the most noise right now is outside air on the yellow tubes. You see it later. The yellow tubes here, that's conditioned air from the outside. Now we have to move back here. These are the static cords, the static sensors to measure the static air pressure. You see it labeled standby captain and first officer. The same one on the other side of the fuselage as well. Careful. The other three static sensors, static cords, it's important that they are clean, free of any obstacles. Nothing, no stickers, no whatever could be on it. Otherwise it would give us wrong altitude and or speed indications in the flight deck. We go on to the right engine. That's a Pratt & Whitney engine with a pretty big fan. It's a 100-inch fan that makes about 2.54 meters diameter. I checked the fan blades for visible damage, but normally this should be okay. Furthermore, Here the shroud, the casing, the whole inlet should be without any dents and without any rupture. We have the transcowl lock indicator here. It has to be flush, otherwise the reverse would be unlocked. That would be very unhealthy. On the underside of the engine, make sure that the engine cowlings are closed, locked. The back part, as far as we see, no debris, nothing which doesn't belong to here. The whole fan channel has to be clean. You see the fan channel around and the combustion channel in the middle. What you see turning in the middle is the last stage of the turbine. Now we go to the main gear. Pretty big tires as well. We check the general condition of the tires, the general condition of the whole structure here. As well, same as the nose gear, it has to be pumped. This is grease, so I do not touch it. It's just grease. It looks like a rusty thing, but I can show you with a paper. So that's grease leaking out a little bit. So we go around. See, the whole structure of the landing gear has to be free, no pins. The landing gears can be fixed down by putting pins in, so the pins have to be removed. It's part of the checklist as well. Tires. These main gears, all the wheels have their own brakes. Those are all brake packages, discs, and we have here, it's not very well visible. You can clean it or try to clean it a little bit. This plug indicates the brake wear. When the plug is flush with the structure here, then the brake has to be changed. So we go to the aft of the aircraft. Maybe we go round. You see the aft cargo door. Quite often, if the cargo containers are not handled with care, quite often the frame of the cargo door gets dents. So I have to make sure that there are no fresh dents, that this part of the fuselage is intact. No scratches, no dents. We come to the aft of the aircraft. Horizontal and vertical stabilizer. A general condition check. Maybe something, there is a fuel tank as well here in the horizontal stabilizer. If you look up here, you see two holes. The fuel tank needs a ventilation and an overflow vent. The round hole is the overflow, and it looks like a triangle, the shape. That's the vent. The aft part here, that's the APU, the auxiliary power unit. You see the doors, they have to be closed and locked. A nice little feature, might be hard to recognize. It's a red disc, very small disc. This disc has to be intact. The auxiliary power unit has an automated fire extinguishing system, and if the fire extinguishing system went off automatically, then the disc would be broken, and so we have to make sure it's intact. Here is catering. Now we go out to the wing tip. You see these little bolts at the end of the wingtip. There are 3 on the wingtip and 5 on the outer aileron. These are static discharges. They have to be in place. They should not be missing. We have more static discharger here on every pylon. Now we come to the left main gear. Same check as on the right side. By the way, you see the fasteners here. These are fasteners. They have to be in place. Structurally, it's okay for a couple fasteners missing in different areas, but we make sure before every flight these fasteners are in place. This part of the fuselage is not belonging to the main structure of the aircraft. It's actually an aerodynamic part of the aircraft which connects the wing to the fuselage. So we come to the left main gear. Same tire check, brake check with these indicators. The whole structure. We have to make sure that the gear doors are closed, of course, that the wheel wells are safe. By the way, when you look to the left, you see the fuel truck connected to the aircraft. The fuel quantity we load is pre-selected at the panel under the fuselage. You see here the pre-selected amount of fuel that is being loaded for the flight. 67.6 is here. Actually, we want 67.4. The mechanic or the fueler always selects about 200 kilo more, just to make sure we have the minimum we are asking for. Now we go to the left engine. Front wheels of the left main gear, again with the pins for the showing the brake wear. Here it's better visible than on the other side, the other one. Of course, all these hydraulic lines, they have to be intact. No hydraulic oil is supposed to drip out of the main gear. Then we saw that the rear part of the left engine. Again, the channel, the fan channel has to be clear, nothing in the engine. The engine itself has to be closed so the latches are secured. Again, the transcowl lock, which has to be flush with the surface. And the front of the engine. Big engine, nice plates, sensors, nacelle, everything looks fine. I might show you this. This is a repair. Here, months or years ago, there was a dent caused probably by a vehicle, and this has to be repaired. So you see how complicated those repairs are. These structural repairs, wherever you have to do, it's quite time consuming and of course money consuming. When you stand in front of the aircraft, you have a good visibility of the wing. The leading edge of the wing has to be clean. You see the different parts, the so-called slats. They could be dented, for example, by hail if we fly through a zone of hail, which we try to avoid. But this part of the wing is vulnerable and that could be dented. And as soon as the leading edge is dented and the airflow over the wing is distorted, means higher fuel consumption. It's not as smooth as it's supposed to be. That's about the pilot's outside check, just the general condition of the aircraft, because the mechanic did his check as well, according to his checklist. We have now made sure that the aircraft is airworthy, everything is on, and no damage to any part of the aircraft. That's it. Thank you.
Delivery once more, the Edelweiss 3 Alpha Heavy, requesting the clearance to Zurich, please.
Edelweiss 3 Alpha Heavy, Las Vegas clearance, cleared to Lima, Sierra Zulu Hotel Airport, via trailer 6 departure. Bryce Canyon transition, then as filed. Climb via the SID. Later on. Squawk 1066.
Edelweiss 3 Alpha Heavy, we are cleared on the trailer 6 departure and Bryce transition. Then the flight plan route, we climb according to the SID and the squawk is 1066.
Edelweiss 3 Alpha Heavy, read back correct, it's Bryce Canyon transition and the spelling is Bravo Charlie Echo.
That's what I have. Thank you very much, sir. Bravo Charlie Echo transition.
Edelweiss 3 Alpha Heavy, good day.
Thank you, same to you.
Welcome on board of our Edelweiss flight back to Zurich from Las Vegas. We had 2 good days here in Las Vegas and enjoyed it with some good food and a little playing, I agree. We did the planning for a straightforward flight to Zurich. Nothing special actually today. The weather is nice. Nice regarding flight conditions, not nice regarding beach holidays, of course. But we are satisfied. We have a flight time of 10 hours and 30 minutes. The routing is quite a sudden routing. We will fly along the Grand Canyon towards Bryce Canyon, then over Denver, Milwaukee, towards Bangor, then south of Halifax over the Atlantic. And later on we approach Europe at the Channel and fly over Paris, Bâle towards Zurich. The weather conditions en route are in general good. After approximately 4 hours flight time we may experience some light chops, lasting in a period from 1.5 hours. So between 4 and 5.5 hours maybe some light chops. Otherwise you can see we do a slight turn in the south. 9% more than the direct routing to catch up this jet stream, which will give us sometimes 130 knots tailwind, in average a little more than 50 knots tailwind. Then the flight was planned with Geneva as alternate, not the closer on Bâle, as at the time of arrival the weather in Bâle is at the limit, not below the limit, but at the limit, which covers us good fuel amount once approaching Zurich, so we go with minimum block with Geneva as alternate, so we can burn up this fuel once approaching Zurich, which will leave us with approximately 50 minutes remaining fuel up to down to the final reserve. That's the flight plan, and now we go through the briefing for the departure. We got the trailer 6 departure with Bryce Canyon transition, which goes after trailer slightly to the northeast. The topic here is mainly the altitude to reach during the climb with the Airbus A330 and the Pratt & Whitney engines. We have just kind of a poor climb performance, especially with this temperature at 38 degrees Celsius. So Reto, for the briefing, the trail transition topic we already discussed with the altitude to reach Baker at minimum 4,600, not above 7,000, that's no topic, the 7,000 I guess. And then also after trailer we need a certain altitude, we can check with the rate afterwards. Initial climb clearance 190 is set, and the transponder code as well. Otherwise nothing special. Maybe start the engines. Okay, standing by.
Easy under constant supervision.
Okay, there's Cockpit.
Yes, sir. Plane front engine start.
Starting engine 1 and 2. Start the engines. Der ist noch draußen, der andere ist vor uns. Hier ist jetzt number 1.
Approaching 2-5
Brav
right.
checked, wir müssen uns vertrauen.
Den am Andrehen, Bravo ist confirmed. Dann Flight Instruments.
Checked. Die Musik gerade.
Approaching 07 left.
That's checked.
We'll start at 7 left of Alpha 4, we'll stay with you, 5 Charlie. Edelweiss 3 Alpha Heavy, Las Vegas Tower, hello, runway 7 left intersection, Alpha 8 line of white traffic, will cross downfield.
Roger, Edelweiss 3 Alpha Heavy on the runway 07 left, Alpha lining up and hold position on the runway.
531 cross runway 7
Approach
left,
clear,
hold in
hold the
position.
EDELWEISS genau. Ticket label,
Ticket for green.
Delta cross runway 7 left,
engine
and
start selected.
in front here on the other side, and kind of ground point 1 traffic, hold in position. Okay, we'll cross 7 left right here, and we're going to toggle from here, pass your right to the left, and we'll go to ground on the other side today.
Below the line is
Departure 125.9er, enjoy the night. 25.9er, 18 foot Bravo. Stop at 2558, cross runway 7 left, traffic will hold in position, and then contact ground point 1, and plan to follow the citation jet initially. Okay, follow the citation, we're 30 cross 7 left, 2558. 2558 affirmative, and actions affirmative at 12 o'clock on the other side, and then have a good
07
day.
left.
Okay, we're following that much.
Heading 078.
Ras is checked. Dort bei der Strand ist noch Crossing.
Helicopter currently 11 o'clock, 2 miles orbiting north of the final landing at the McCarran ramp, and also cautionary turbulence heavy Airbus is departing the parallel runway. Roger that, that's the waiting. Light 3 Alpha Heavy, 1160 at 13, gust 20. Runway 7 left at Alpha 8, cleared for takeoff.
At Alpha 8 on the runway 07 left. The clear for takeoff. Edelweiss 3 Alpha Heavy.
Kijk je nou eens in
97 parallel, your discretion, runway 7 left at Alpha 8, line up and wait, cautionary turbulence.
Takeoff.
330 departure.
Line up and wait, 7 left at Alpha 8.
FMA update. Checked.
Thank you. Edelweiss 3 Alpha Heavy.
4 Kilo Bravo, proceed direct approach.
Cedar,
Accelerated climb 2.
Check. Departures, hello, it's Edelweiss 3 Alpha Heavy. We're passing 3,600 feet.
Edelweiss 3 Alpha Heavy, Las Vegas departure, rate of contact, climb maintain, flight level 190.
The climb level 190, Edelweiss 3 Alpha Heavy.
$4,600 für Baker ist gut.
Check. Ja.
I know where he's so final leveling 190, he takes flight left.
Departure Delta 697, switch you 3.5, climbing 190 via the trailer space.
Delta 697, Las Vegas departure, rate of contact, climb maintain, flight level 190.
Climb and maintain, flight level 190, Delta 697.
And autopilot 1.
Check.
Departure, good evening, Southwest 1881, passing 3.5, climbing via shed 9. Southwest 1881, Las Vegas departure, rate of contact, climb and maintain, flight level 190.
I maintain flight level 190.
Durchpreis Canyon haben wir safe 11.000 und wir warten bei Trailer 12.000, sind wir gut dran. Da ist Marina, wo wir gegessen haben.
19,000. Here 1134, Las Vegas departure, rate of contact, climb maintain, flight level 190. Flight level 190, flight level 34.
Oh, good night.
Southwest 1881, proceed direct shed.
Direct shed, Southwest 1881, thank you.
Approaching 07 left.
Below the line. Takeoff all green.
and find a fall citation jet initially. Okay,
Du wärst ready, wenn er kommt?
On runway 07 left.
Heading 778.
Okay, our departure in Las Vegas, we left the gate Echo 3 and did a pushback with the tail to the west. So we had the nose to the east. With the right turn, we left towards ground frequency via the intersection 1. We crossed afterwards to taxiway Bravo, and all the way down on Bravo we came to intersection Alpha 8 for runway 07 left, where we did our takeoff. It was approximately 700 meters intersection takeoff, so 3,700 meters left for the takeoff. Okay, after departure on runway 07 we got the trailer 6 departure. The difficulty there is always to reach the minimum 4,600 feet over Baker with these engines and this weight, this temperature. So we increased altitude to clean up, which needs a lot of time for a cleanup, the acceleration towards green dot. And we keep the takeoff flaps 1 until Baker. So we crossed Baker at 4,900 feet and did afterwards the cleanup. Then the routing was quite nice over the Lake Med. Then we could see the Hoover Dam to the right hand side and flew alongside to Trailer Point, where we could see the Grand Canyon leaving to the right. And the official routing would have been towards Bryce Canyon over there, but we got the heading of 050, which shortened our way afterwards, because the routing would have been to Bryce Canyon and then to Denver, and we got more or less a direct Denver. So it was in between Bryce Canyon and Grand Canyon, our departure now, and at the present time we are flying at 35,000 feet over quite high terrain. Mountains coming up to 14,300 feet, and in front only approximately 120 miles, it should be 80 miles only to Denver, and then it's again more or less flat.
Ladies and gentlemen, information from Cockpit regarding our flight plan. We are presently flying at the cruising altitude of 35,000 feet, which equals 11,000 meters, and just approaching Denver, which you can see in the next 2-3 minutes to your left and right hand side. Afterwards the routing will lead us towards Milwaukee, Lake Michigan, then Toronto, slightly south of Ottawa, towards the Atlantic Ocean, which will reach a little north of Boston, then south of Nova Scotia and Newfoundland over the Atlantic towards Europe, which will reach by Brest, just the beginning of the channel, and then over Paris, Bâle towards Zurich. Take profit of a good tailwind in average 100 kilometers per hour, and so the arrival time in Zurich will be as scheduled at 2:45 o'clock. The weather en route, in approximately 2 to 3 hours from now we pass an area with some light chops. Otherwise we expect a smooth ride, and the weather in Zurich, little clouds with little fog, temperature between 14 to 80 degrees Celsius once the fog clears up. As it's a night flight, I guess most of you like to sleep, so I don't say anything again until the descent, and just wish you a good night and enjoy the meal.